you all are doing well. Today, I want to take a look at sectors made simple in a little bit more detail. Now, that seems like a fairly broad idea, but we're going to bring things down to a very simple level today. I want to explain to you why sectors made simple can make investing simpler for you. It doesn't matter what your current experience is in the market. It doesn't matter what your goals are in the market, whether you're already trading and have something that works for you, or you're looking for guidance and want a good place to start. Sectors Made Simple and the tools and education that we provide here are here to help, regardless of where you are today. So the goal today is that I want to show you a little bit more about how Sectors Made Simple can help you invest simpler. Whether you're already a subscriber and just want to use our tools more, or if you're considering a subscription, or if you're not, but you still want to see what we have to offer, this is the webinar for you. So let's dive straight in, starting off with the not so fun part of a webinar, the disclaimer. I do kind of need to say this, and it is important. Everything I cover is meant for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. My whole thing in these webinars is that I want to teach you about investing so that you don't listen to some person on the internet and take what they say as gospel. The goal is that you are learning how to make informed investment decisions for yourself, and we remember that past results can never guarantee future performance, which is why it's very important that we learn how to think for ourselves. Alrighty, the goal for the webinar. I'm going to give you all an introduction to Sectors Made Simple, both our tools and our education. But we're going to take things a little bit further, where I'm going to give you an explanation of how to navigate both our tools and all of our webinars to find the education and information you're looking for. And we're going to do this in two different ways. The first is what I like to call the too long didn't watch walkthrough. If you're checking this out and you don't want to stick around for an hour-long webinar, I do understand that. So I'm going to compress all the really important stuff into about 5 minutes. So in those 5 minutes, you'll have a pretty good idea of what we have to offer and how sectors can help you in your investment journey. Then, after the 5 minutes, we're going to dive into a little bit more detail about these tools and give an actual example of using this tool at different levels of your investment journey. Starting off where you don't need to know anything. All you need to know is that you want to dive into the world of investments, and that's enough. All the way up to you're a seasoned trader that already knows what you're doing and you just want to save yourself some time. So without any further ado, let's dive into it. So the first thing is that right now, if you're watching this webinar and it is between the 27th of May and the 9th of June, you can try out Sectors Made Simple for free. All of our tools and all of our education are available to you for free. All you need is your free account. So from now, May 27th until June 9th, 2025, enjoy access to the dashboard, all of our tools, and all of our education. And if you enjoy having access to those tools and find them useful, we also have a promotion going on right now to wrap up Matrix. You can use the code BEAR20 for 20% off either a monthly or annual subscription. If you need any help or have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me personally. My email is support@sectorsmadesimple.com. You can address me as, "Hello, Jonathan." There is no outsourced support that's reading those emails. I am the support. So that email is a direct line to talk with me. Or if you prefer to actually talk face-to-face, great. Down in the description of this video, there is a link to schedule a one-on-one meeting with me. That is not only for people that are interested in buying Sectors Made Simple. If you are already a subscriber as well, please feel free to schedule a one-on-one as well. It is always so much fun for me to get to chat with the subscriber and see how we can help you to invest simpler with our tools. Now, let's get into it. I'm going to give you all a run through of Sectors Made Simple, both our tools and education, in just about 5 minutes. Starting off, I want to talk a little bit about our approach. Our approach to investing is not to create some wild, outlandish idea. It's to take some very well-established ways of studying the stock market and finding opportunities in the market and just make that a little bit simpler. The main ideas that we use are support and resistance, relative strength, and sector rotation. These three ideas are at the heart of many of the tools and the education that we offer here. And the goal of these tools is to make trading on these ideas simpler. So with Sectors Made Simple, not only will you learn strategies and ways of trading, but you are building a strong foundation of knowledge. We're not teaching you this one really fun part of the market that if that doesn't work out, good luck, have fun. No, we're giving you a well-rounded education and the tools to support that education. So regardless of if you're looking to actively invest or just saving for your retirement, we have tools and education to help you. Now, you can create an account with Sectors Made Simple for free. There's no credit card kind of thing needed. Free is free is free. And with that, you get access to our weekly newsletters that talk about what's been changing in the market, our monthly reports that focus more on sector rotation and relative strength, notifications for surprise live webinars that we do, while the majority of our Tuesday webinars are offered for Sectors Made Simple subscribers. Occasionally, we will open these up to everyone, and creating a free account is the best way to be informed when those webinars go live. Also, you get access to certain sections of our webinar website, SMS Learn. The website for that is learn.sectorsmadesimple.com. There, you can browse over 100 hours of free webinars, no limit, no ads, go and enjoy the content. Or if you want things in a little bit more short form, which I kind of get to, we offer a lot of education in what we call learning paths. These paths consist of short videos about 3 to 7 minutes long and interactive quizzes to immediately get feedback and test your knowledge of what you're learning. Plus, if you want to reach out to me, again, it's not a subscription-based thing. You can schedule a one-on-one with me or send me an email for help and guidance for your investing. Also, all of this is offered in both English y si prefieres comunicarme en español, puedes hacer esto también. Now, a subscription to Sectors Made Simple is something that I highly encourage because you get a lot more than just the education. For both monthly and annual subscribers, you get full access to all of our tools on the SMS dashboard, dash.sectorsmadesimple.com. That is not piecemealed out. We don't say with a monthly, you don't get this or that. If you have a monthly or annual, you have the same access to our material. You get access to all of our recorded webinars on the Learn site, and you get access to our AI-powered webinar recommendations. These are a way of figuring out how to learn about some topic that you're interested in, where if you don't want to communicate with me directly, or you just want to mess around and have some fun with it, you can ask our AI bot for recommendations on what videos to watch, and it will build you a playlist of videos to check out. Or, if you prefer the human touch, we're not going the way of Duolingo and replacing everything with AI. The human side is still here too. So we have created some hand-picked playlist of webinars for you to check out. Finally, you would get access to 2 live webinars every week. A Tuesday webinar on, Tuesday in English and a Thursday webinar in Spanish. Also, if you do purchase an annual subscription, there are 2 benefits that are unique to annual subscribers. The first is that your price is locked in. Often you'll see this referred to as grandfathered in pricing. So if you continue your subscription, if we raise the cost in the future, your price will not change. Also, every so often, about once a year, we do these special class series. They're in addition to our members' webinars and are a much more deep dive into specific topics. Whenever we do one of those, Both recorded access and live access are available to annual subscribers for 50% off. Now, let's get to the fun stuff. I want to tell you a little bit more about how to find the information you might be looking for on our webinar website, SMS Learn. Here, the important bits will be the personal learning plan, that's our AI assistant, and a lot of the videos that we'll recommend are members-only webinars. By the way, right now through June 9th, you do have access to all of our members' webinars too, so try it out and experiment with this for yourself. Also, we have our learning paths, those short form videos with the interactive quizzes that I talked about before. And lastly, our webinars. All of these webinars are recorded and uploaded to our Learn site to browse either by keyword or you can filter by specific topic as well. Lastly, we have our series. Those are those standalone class series that we do. Those are available for individual purchase or an additional cost. Now, where should you start? If you're looking at this and you're saying, I don't know where to begin, here's some good places based on a little bit of a personality test. If you're starting off from scratch, you don't know anything about investing, or if you think learning how to invest is something that a student of yours, a kid, someone in your life might find interesting, they can also check this out as well. Our Finance Fundamentals Learning Path teaches you everything you need to know about why people invest, the different ways that we can invest, and how we can study the price of different investments in the market, all the way up to talking about some basic trading strategies that don't require an SMS subscription, but can be benefited from one. The next step is if you're already investing and you just want to check out what we have to offer with our tools, the easiest way to explore that for yourself is through our Sectors Made Simple Tools learning path. Here, you'll get a deep dive into how our tools work, what information they use, and there's no trade secrets. Our whole goal here is to give you easy ways to invest and share with you how our tools can make that faster and simpler. Then, if you're just learning how to invest in May of 2025, it's not a surprise to say that the market has been absurdly crazy. So we built a specific playlist just for you and just for right now called Matrix 2025 Essentials. Here, you'll get to explore everything about what it takes to invest in uncertain markets, why you shouldn't wait until the market is creating a new high to begin investing, and plenty more. Also, if there is a specific topic that you want to learn about and you're not sure if we have a webinar on it, load up an education plan and ask about that topic, browse by the tags on the webinar page, or my favorite option, send me an email or schedule a one-on-one with me. I'm happy to help you with a human touch. Finally, let me tell you a little bit about the tools that we offer here at Sectors Made Simple. The biggest thing that we offer is called the Sector Summary. It lets us compare different sections of the market known as sectors to find which one is the leader at any given time. These sectors are ranked based off their short and long-term relative strength, so you can see out of those sectors which ones are outperforming the others. Plus, we allow you to see how that strength is changing over time in what we call momentum. Then we have the S&P 500 screener. This is a tool that ranks, instead of it being sectors, it ranks companies, where it takes the 500 S&P 500 companies and ranks them from highest to lowest strength. Plus, you can use this tool to go beyond just relative strength and find companies based on a number of different technical indicators, such as price direction, support and resistance, and more. And if those things mean nothing to you right now, don't worry. That is something that we do cover quite a bit in our tools learning path, and we'll cover in the full breakdown of this webinar. Another tool is Swing Trade Setups. This tool is built with day traders and more active traders in mind and allows you to filter companies based on their price and how far their current price is from support and resistance to find areas of opportunity. Plus, we've built pre-made presets to make it super fast and easy to load up the information that will probably interest you the most. Lastly, we have two more things that I want to talk about. Custom matrices gives you the power of relative strength and lets you choose what companies you want to look at. Choose from a list of a few thousand companies and ETFs to compare those companies against each other and see which ones are the leaders today. All of these custom matrices are saved so that you can review them in the future or update them with current price information. There's also no limit to how many of these custom matrices you can create, so go crazy. And then the last thing are our matrix strategies. We've taken the sector summary page and used that as a way of creating very, very simple to follow strategies. All of these strategies buy one thing once per week, that's it. And there's no magic black box here. There's no you put a bunch of stuff in and it gives you an answer and you don't know why. All of these strategies give you a breakdown of how they think and how they find their opportunities, and we provide you with the real up-to-date returns and results for those strategies. So you're not diving into a strategy thinking that it was incredibly profitable 2 years ago and hoping it's still holding up today. We give you the real results so that you can make a more informed decision for yourself. And again, if you want to try it out for yourself, we give you the steps on how you can follow how that strategy thinks and gets to its decisions. But don't take our word for it. You can go in and test this strategy for yourself and see week by week what sector it was holding and how well that sector did relative to the S&P 500 and in a vacuum as well. So that's the breakdown in more or less, unfortunately, more than 5 minutes, but it does give us a strong picture of why Sectors Made Simple has something to offer for investors of all skill levels. Regardless of if you're looking at individual companies or you're just trying to diversify with an ETF, our tools are here to help you. And our education not only supports those tools, but goes beyond that to give you more information about the market that we invest in. So now, let's dive into a little bit more detail. Here, we're going to take a look at our tools in, once again, a little bit more detail, but go beyond that and show off a little bit of how an investor can take these tools and use it not just as a way of finding their investment today, but continuing their education for tomorrow. So, the reality of it is, Sectors Made Simple has something to offer everybody. That includes you. You are extra special. You have your own goals and your own ideas of investing with your own experiences, and we understand that, and we build these tools with you in mind. Our mission is to create tools, education, but also support for every step of your investment journey. Investing is not something that you solve. It is constantly a journey that you're continuing to take more steps on. And at a certain point, you'll stop and say, I'm happy with where I've made it in this journey. I'm going to stay here and rest for a bit. And that's great. We try and do this by showing off various ways that our tools can be used to invest. A lot of our webinars that we cover will use our tools in different ways. It might be as an active trader, it might be as a passive trader, it might be for your long-term investments, or to just find a company that you should look at for options trading. If any of those things mean anything to you, we are here for you. And even if they don't, that's totally fine. But at the end of the day, here's really what it boils down to. Sectors Made Simple goes beyond what to invest in. Instead, we cover why we should invest in it. The why is very, very important because we teach you about how to think about investing strategies. The reality of it is, every strategy will have its good days and its bad days. Every strategy will have its good months and years. But at the end of the day, if all you're doing is following a strategy with no idea of why it works, When it stops working, it's not a great feeling. It can be confusing. You can feel lost when what you were trying to do to make money all of a sudden is causing losses. So instead, what we try and do is we try and give examples of how our tools can be used, allow you the freedom to explore these tools for yourself, and be able to say, what I was doing before might not be working anymore, but I know why. And here's what I can do next. If you are flexible, if you have the ability to learn, you have the ability to grow. And that is the most important trait to have as an investor. A way of learning how to invest in any market. And that's what we're here to help you with. Now, everyone's journey has to start somewhere. So if you are brand new to investing or just new to Sectors Made Simple, the beauty of joining us here at SMS is that there's less upfront knowledge. You've probably seen these ideas and videos of people investing where it's these big charts with lots of lines going up and down. They're drawing more lines and they're talking about how they made 50% money in one day while ignoring the fact that they also risked 50% to make that. That's a lot of stuff and there is value in it, but it doesn't have to be where you start. You can get started with so much less upfront learning. In fact, I could sit down with you and in 5 minutes show you how to use our tools to start investing, even if you have never looked at a stock chart or even know what a stock chart is. So our tools make it super easy to not have to deal with complex topics like charting or technical analysis, a way of finding investments based off of price. Also, you get to learn at your own pace. There is no curriculum, there is no test, there is no semesters. You can learn whenever you have time and wherever you have time. All of our webinars are able to be watched on the Learn site, and you can take those on at your own pace. Find topics that interest you, or use myself or our AI assistant to find what webinars might interest you next. But lastly, we focus on why you should care. It's really cool to know about what's happening in the world and how it's impacting our investments, but that's not very helpful if we don't know why we should care about it. So the vast majority of our webinars, whenever we're talking about an idea or something going on in the world, we always bring it back to, and here's why you should care. Here is how it can impact our investments. So everything we talk about becomes actionable information or strategies. So if you're just beginning your journey, we are here to help you with less learning and more doing and trying. But maybe you are already an active investor. You are already trading, and it doesn't have to just be basic trading. You could be an active day trader, looking at options and trading both puts and calls. But we still have something to help you with, because a lot of what you are doing takes time. And we want to try and help you save that time. Time is the most valuable resource that you cannot get more of. You can't buy more time. So instead, let's try and save you some time so you can put that time to better use. At SMS, there are no trade secrets. We don't say, oh, this works, trust us. Or, oh, we can't tell you how that works. The whole point of what we do here is to empower you with these basic ideas that we take and we elevate, where we can take something like relative strength, teach you about how it works so you understand what's going on, and then show you how to apply that information. So for example, if I wanted to look and find the best company in the S&P 500, I will teach you how to compare two companies against each other, and I will teach you how to compare a group of companies together. But if you wanted to go through and find the leader in the S&P 500, it would take you 249,500 charts. Well, we teach you how to do it, and we also show you that it takes a lot of time to do so. So instead, we show you how it's made and then give you the information so that you don't have to do it yourself. So you get to save time and get the same information. Also, we are very much a do by example company. Everything we try and show is not just, and here's some cool stuff if you know what to do with it. The whole point is that we can say, here's some cool stuff and here's how it can be used. Do you need to use it exactly the way that I show off? No. But the goal in that is that you can see how it can be used, and your mind might go to, oh, well, instead of just following the strategy to a T, I've got an idea for how I can change it. You're editing, you're changing, you are improving what we cover in these webinars. So you're not starting off from scratch or being given a tool and saying, figure it out, good luck. We help you to give some examples of how the tools can be used, and we will do just that today. And then finally, no starting over. If you are already investing, one of the worst things that someone can tell you is, well, if you want to use our tools, you need to start from scratch. Change how you invest. No one's got time for that. Instead of trying to explain to you, here's where you should start over, our goal instead is to say, we understand what your goals are. Here's how our tools can save you time. It goes back to thing number 1, no trade secrets. If there is a way that you are already investing and you're just curious to see if our tools can help save you time, or you see a way that our tools can help you save time, that is incredible. And that is the goal. You can start from scratch, or you can take what you're already doing and just amplify it, improve it, using more informed decisions. And lastly, investing can be a little lonely. After all, you're spending hours staring at a computer screen with very little to go off of beyond plus or minus a number. Investing should be about community as well. So at Sectors Made Simple, you are joining our family. All of our English and Spanish webinars are done live, either here on YouTube or over on Zoom, where you can join us, join in on the conversation, ask questions, talk about successes or lessons learned alongside the rest of our community. All of the investors here are excited to learn about investing and share their experiences together. And investing is so much more fun when we have a group of investors to learn with. Also, again, I am a resource just as much as our tools or education is. I truly enjoy getting to talk about our tools, ways of using our tools, or just general market changes as a whole. So please, feel free to reach out to me with any questions you have, or if there's a topic that you don't see that we've covered, request it. And I'm always open to suggestions for future content as well. And lastly, Sectors Made Simple is a truly bilingual company. All of our websites are offered in both English and Spanish. All of our webinars are offered with Spanish subtitles live in the webinars. So our goal is that regardless of if our content is in English or Spanish, you can take part and enjoy that information in the language that is most comfortable for you. Now, let's get into the really fun stuff. I want to take one single tool from Sectors Made Simple and break it down on a couple of different levels. So I want to highlight how this one tool can benefit investors of all skill levels. And again, this isn't to say that you have to be one of these. The goal here is to show you how you can start off knowing nothing about investing, charting, analysis, none of that. And through some very, very, very simple ideas, learn, earn, and grow together. So the tool that I want to highlight here is the S&P 500 screener. I'm going to show you how you can use this tool with no prior knowledge needed. And then I'm going to demonstrate how we can go one level up and one level up from that. So you can take what you've learned in the previous step and grow and iterate on that idea. And finally, I'm going to wrap it up by showing a little bit more about how the S&P screener can be used to improve a way that you might already be trading. Because again, it's not just about teaching you a new way of investing, it can also improve and augment the ways that you were already trading. So let's start off very, very, very simple. The S&P 500 screener compares the 500 companies that make up the S&P 500, a group of 500 of the largest companies in the stock market. Each one of these companies is graded and given 3 scores. Short-term strength, it's the easiest thing to change. Long-term strength, it's a little bit harder to change. So it's more common to see short-term moving around and a little bit harder for long-term. But if you want one number to rule them all, there's total count. It's their short-term plus their long-term in one. That's what we're going to focus on here. Because after all, you don't care about what short-term is. You don't care about what long-term is. Bigger number, better company is the goal. Total count probably is going to be our best bet. Where the higher the percent, the higher the number, the higher the strength. So our goal here could be, what's the best company? I want to invest in the strongest company in the S&P 500. What is it? Just sort by total count. That's it. Let me show you. If we head on over to the dashboard, and by the way, if you're watching this live or watching it before June 9th, take your free Sectors Made Simple account, try this for yourself. So we can go here to the S&P 500 screener, and once the information loads, again, we're talking 250,000 charts here, so we do have to be a little patient with technology sometimes. What you immediately will see is a bunch of percentages. We color code it to make it easier. You'll notice that higher percentages are a greener number. Lower percentages are a redder number. Pretty straightforward. So if I wanted to find the strongest company in the S&P 500, I could sort by total count, and there we go. We're done. The strongest companies, GEV, CEG, INTU, STX, VST. Done. You ask a simple question, and thankfully, there's a simple answer. And how long did that take us? About 30 seconds. That's all it has to be. If what your goal is to start somewhere, finding the leading company in the market, that can be enough. That in of itself, you are using so much information to make that decision. This one company is compared against 499 other companies. And it's proven itself to have the most wins out of all of those comparisons. So, by just looking at one number, you know we've done all the hard work for you to give you that list. So, that's all it has to be. You want to know the strongest company? We can tell you that in a few seconds. But let's take it one step up. You're now comfortable finding the leading companies in the S&P 500. But there's one thing that is really important to remember. What we just looked at is what is called relative strength. It is not saying this company has made 50% or more profit this year. All it's saying is compared to all of the other companies, how's it doing compared to the other 499? That is really helpful. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the whole story, because relative strength is different than profit or loss. After all, if all 500 companies in the S&P 500 are going down or losing value, the strongest company isn't the company that's making the most profit. It's the company that's not losing the most. It's losing the least value, which I guess is kind of helpful, but we can do better. What if we had the ability to not only see relative strength, but also see what that single company's price is doing? Well, there's two different ways to do that. One of the ways is that you go to, let's pick a company here, GEV. You go and you look at their stock price and you see, okay, their stock price, it's up 27% in the past month. Okay. Or you get really into things and now you're starting to look at price charts on a website like Yahoo Finance, stock charts, but that's a lot. And honestly, it's unnecessary because we can give you that information without you having to learn what the hell a stock chart is. Is there value in learning it? Yes. Is it necessary for what we're doing here? No. That's the cool part. We have direction. What direction is the stock's price going in? Is it going up or is it going down? That's it. Simple. Yes or no. Up or down. So we can use the same tool, the same stuff we already did, and now also see which companies are going up. Let me show you. What you'll notice, there's a column that says direction, and most of the arrows are currently green going up. And let's think about that for a second. That makes sense. If these are the strongest companies in the S&P 500, we would expect that their price is going up, and it's going up more than the other companies. But not all companies are the same. In fact, if we look here at NRG, its current direction is going down, red. And its relative strength also defends that. If I zoom in a little bit, what you'll notice is that its long-term strength is 96%. It is one of the highest long-term strengths, but its short-term strength, especially compared to the other things on this list, is a lot lower. Remember, short-term, easier to change. Long-term, harder to change. This is a perfect example of that, where NRG is overall the 10th strongest company out of the S&P 500, but its price is currently going down. So if we check this a week from now, it's possible it won't be on this top 10 anymore. So I only want to see companies whose directions are currently going up. Right here, there is an option for direction, and we can filter to only see things that are going up. We've gone from 500 companies to 206. And you'll notice NRG is now gone and it's been replaced by CF. Again, takes a couple of seconds to do, but now what we've done is we've found which companies are the strongest in the market that are still going up. Right now, it doesn't really matter that much because the stock market is trending positively, but especially in more uncertain markets, if the market's going down or if things are just a little having the direction, the actual price change, in addition to relative strength, is a huge benefit. But there's more we can do. So the next step up here, and by the way, me showing these next steps up, it doesn't mean that you have to do this. Again, you could have stopped at slide 1, at just saying, what's the strongest company? And that's that. The goal in showing these next steps is not to say you need to take that step. It's to say, if and when you're ready to take it, we're here. And there is ways to level up how you use these tools. So let's take it one step up. Now we start to get to talk a little bit about technical analysis, this big school of thought about using the price and how the price of an investment changes over time as a way of deciding if, when, and for what price we want to buy. One very basic idea or way of doing technical analysis is called support and resistance. It's very common that a stock's price will hit but not go beyond a certain price, known as a barrier. This is super common because usually that level that it stops at is a previous high price or low price. So if the price goes up to $100 and then stops and then goes back down, okay, it is what it is. When the price starts to go back up again, $96, $97, $98, $99, investors start to get a little bit worried. The last time it got to 100, it stopped. Its price started to go down. I made my money already. I'm happy. I'm going to sell. So it's very common because humans are, what's the right word? Emotional, predictable, little crazy. It's very common that humans cause the price to go back down at that resistance level, at that previous high. Same thing with a previous low. It's common to see a price hit a low and then bounce back up. But eventually, those barriers are broken. So if the price goes above a previous high price, known as the resistance barrier, the ceiling, we call that a breakout. And the opposite is if the price goes below a previous low, the support barrier, the floor, we call that a breakdown. Breakouts and breakdowns are the core idea of support and resistance and serve as very important signals for investors that use this as guidance. They will look and say, if a company is on a breakout, that is a very strong sign. If the company is on a breakdown, not a great sign. So, all we need to know is that breakouts are seen as positive things and mean that we're going and creating new highs. The opposite is a breakdown is a sign that we are creating new lows. And all the psychology that comes with it, we can ball up and toss out the window. So, finding these barriers requires a little bit of work. Notably, you have to learn how to read a chart. If you want to see if we have broken a resistance barrier, you need to know what a resistance barrier looks like on a price chart. Well, you used to have to know. Because Sectors Made Simple exists, you don't. What we do is we take that whole chart and we turn it into one of two words. Breakout or breakdown. Which one is it? It is always one or the other. And we also take it a step further. We tell you what date, when did that breakout or breakdown happen? So now you not only can see the companies that are on those positive breakout signals, but you can also find which ones happened most recently. Let me show you. If we go right over here, we're going to clear the direction. And we're going to say, I only want to see companies on a breakout. Let me make this a little bit bigger for us. The magic of live television or live internet television. There we go. Sometimes what will happen is it wants you to log in again, and because I am nothing but wordy, it can sometimes time me out. But we're back. So, Signal, I'm going to set this to only show me companies on breakouts. So now we're down to 348 companies. But what you'll notice is some of these happened a little while ago. April 14th, May 2nd, May 8th. In fact, some of these happened back in 2013. So do I really care about a company that went on a breakout signal in 2013? Probably not. But with one more click of signal date, do I care about a company that went on a buy signal last Friday, which was the last day that the market was open? Yeah, that's pretty valuable. So I can see that on Friday, May 23rd, 3 companies went on buy signals: PM, CRWD, and INTU. So from those 3 companies, which ones are stronger companies? Which one is the strongest company? Well, let's take it one step further and look at their relative strengths. Higher strength, stronger company compared to the others. So here, PM, 74 is not as good as, 96 or 93.5. So with a few clicks, literally 1, 2, 3, you have 2 companies that are among the strongest in the S&P 500, whose prices are currently going up and have gone on breakouts literally the last trading day. This data updates every single day after the market closes. So if you check this tomorrow, you will see any new buy signals that happened today. It is really that easy. We're going to take one final step. For now, if we want to find market leaders, the strongest companies, we want to try and layer as much as we can. Because again, there's no promise that just because the company was the strongest, that it will continue to be the strongest. So to improve our chances of success, we want to give as many different thumbs ups as we can. We've already done a few of them. We found the strongest company as far as relative strength. Thumbs up. Whose price is currently going up. Not relative strength, actual price change. Thumbs up. And it is on a buy signal, meaning that it has broken a resistance barrier. It's on a breakout, and we can even see when that breakout happened. Again, thumbs up for a breakout, thumbs up that that breakout happened recently. There's one more thing we can do that's super easy. Let's only look at companies in the strongest area of the market, also known as a sector. It's very common that stocks within a sector, companies that do similar things to each other, will move up and down as a group. Some will move more than others, but they typically go in the same directions. So, we can find which sector on average has the strongest companies. So now we would have the strongest company in the strongest sector whose price is going up and is on a recent buy signal. If I told you at the beginning of the webinar that you would know that answer by the end of this, and if I told you that finding that answer would take 30 seconds, you'd probably think I'm crazy. I am crazy, but not because of that. Because I'm going to show you how easy that actually is. We can filter that S&P 500 screener by the leading sector or sectors. How? Well, Below the matrix, below the screener, we have sector strength averages. What is the average strength of a company within the sector? Sort by total count to see the highest averages. Right now, we have industrials with an average strength of 54.4% and technology with 54.2%. I can't make a decision between the two. I'm going to use both. So we go back up to the screener, and under sector, we choose technology and industrials. And ta-da, there's our list. Now let's go back and let's add direction. Okay, here's your list. These are companies with recent buy signals, recent breakouts. Oftentimes, point and figure, a way of thinking about support and resistance, we'll call breakouts buy signals. Again, it's never a recommendation to actually buy that thing, just a name that they use. But going beyond that, we have our breakout. The price is currently going up. It recently went on a breakout, and oh hey, look, it's one of the strongest companies in one of the strongest sectors. That's all it has to be. It is that simple. You can open this up and any day of the week, go in here and copy the same setup. Direction, up arrow. Click around a little bit too much and you break it and you click the reload button and you're right back where you started. So again, if we looked here, we could set direction to an up arrow, sector to industrials and technology, and that's our list. We can sort by either total count or my preferred is signal date to see companies whose prices are moving right now. One tool, 4 different levels, and at every level we've added just one more thing. Does it suddenly give you information that you couldn't have had at level 1? No, but it refines what we're looking for, one piece at a time, with no need to study a stock chart, no need to even know how to analyze a stock chart. All you need to know, relative strength, compares the companies and tells you which ones are the strongest. Direction looks at its price to say it's going up or down. And breakout or breakdown tells you, is it going on a new high or going down on a new low? That's it. But there's more. Does there need to be more? No. But if this is fun, if you're enjoying this process, there are ways you can continue your search and find opportunities for any type of investments. Stocks, options, for retirement, day trading, and plenty more. As you use these tools, you're going to learn about the ideas that we use here. Support and resistance, sector rotation, all of this works together. So you're probably going to start asking some pretty good questions. Like, right now, I showed you the list of companies that have recently gone on breakouts. Can I find companies that have not gone on breakouts, but are very, very close to doing so? Yes. Our swing trade setups tool does exactly that. You can go in and you can use our potential breakouts to find companies that are near but have not broken out just yet. Or, how can you choose between a few companies? Say you were left with those 3 companies we looked at before. How would you choose between CRWD, INTU, and PM? Go, make a custom matrix, and only check those companies against each other. Find which ones are the strongest from only that group. Or maybe you're really getting crazy and you want to know what's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. Unfortunately, we don't really have a good answer for that. because our tools don't really cover existential questions. So, in my opinion, the answer is 42. Do with that what you will. But, jokes aside, all of this boils down to one simple idea. With the right set of tools, an investor can start off knowing basically nothing. And with a few minutes of time, find opportunities for their investments. And as their confidence grows, know that that set of tools is ready to grow with them. We are here for you every step of the way. Our tools are incredibly powerful on their own, but as I just mentioned on that previous slide, they work really well when used together. All of the tools use a basic set of ideas: relative strength, support and resistance, sector rotation, and allow you to explore these ideas without having to learn and get a doctorate on everything and anything that is investments. And as your confidence grows and you ask more questions, our tools, our education, and our humans are here to help. So if you're interested to find out how we can help you about our tools or our education, or how we can help you reach your investment goals, please feel free to reach out to us. If you want to chat, you can either schedule a one-on-one meeting with me to chat over the phone or the internet, or if you prefer, you can send me an email at support@sectorsmadesimple.com. Before we wrap things up, one of the beauties of doing these webinars live is we can take questions and answer them live. So Anna has a question: when doing day trading, should we pay more attention to the short-term, long-term, or both on the recent signal? That's a great question. The simple answer is short-term, because what you're looking for is what is changing short-term. But if you're looking at trading and finding opportunities for day trading here, in my opinion, the better thing would be momentum, because momentum lets us see that right now this number is 44%. Yesterday, it could have been 40% or 35%. So if I want to invest in a stock for options and I only wanted to go long, I only want to buy calls, I want the price to go up. Yes, I care about what has good short-term strength. Sorry, that would be this column, short-term strength. But I do also care about, if not, I care about a little bit more, which companies are gaining that strength right now. So momentum, we can see compared to yesterday, which companies are gaining the most strength. So that's probably what I would use, is I would look to find what companies are gaining short-term strength, because the hope is that they have the most momentum going right now. There's more pushing them in that positive price direction. So if you just wanted to know overall what the strongest company would be, short-term total count on this screener, probably the best bet. But if you want to find which stocks are moving short-term, probably momentum will be your better friend. Great question. Momentum for calls, down for puts. Yep, you can flip the whole thing upside down, search for the worst performing companies in the worst performing sector, and more. But unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you again so much for joining us and for making it this far. Again, if you want to try these tools out for yourself, now is the best time. You can enjoy all of our webinars on the Learn site for free and have full access to all of the tools that we've talked about and shown off in today's webinar until June 9th. And if you're ready to join us at Sectors Made Simple and make the world of investing simpler for you, remember, you can use the code BEAR20 when you purchase your subscription for 20% off. Any questions, or if you need help, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always here to help your investment journey simpler. Take care, everyone.